Okay, we're going to get into Super Bowl 60, right? That's going to be in February the 8th, 2026, right? This is going to be the second time it's going to be hosted in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, right? That's the home of the San Francisco 49ers. See, that's their stadium. So it's gonna be the second time. The last one was 10 years, right? Super Bowl 50, right? That was the Broncos versus the Panthers, right? Um, okay, how I want to start this, right? Let's get this going. All right, who I see in the Super Bowl, right? And I see that the Ravens. I see that the Ravens winning Super Bowl 60. Now, my other video, I had put that, all right, if you go to my channel, right, on YouTube, this video, I had the Ravens and the Ravens beating the Rams in Super Bowl 60. However, I'm looking at the Ravens playing the Eagles, right? The Eagles may make it back to the Super Bowl, and lose to the Ravens. Might be the Birds Bowl. This one. This year might be the Birds Bowl, because this is what I'm looking at. How the NFC is either the Eagles or the Rams going to make it out, because the 60 of Kobe Bryant, either Kobe Bryant, right, is going to be representing Kobe Bryant, the Super Bowl 60, right? Think about it, the 60. He scored 60 his last game. And then Lamar wears number 8, right? See what I'm saying? Kobe wore number 8. And then the Eagles, he was born in Philly, right? And played in Los Angeles. So I'm like, either the Eagles or the Rams are going to make it out of NFC, but the Ravens are going to make it out of AFC, okay? Ravens are going, I see the Ravens winning whoever they play, either the Eagles or Rams. I see the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. But yeah, because I had a video right here. I'm going to show you. This was about a good year ago. This was, I was trying to see if the Ravens and Eagles in Super Bowl 58. You know what I'm saying? See, that was like a Birds Bowl. That was a good connection on that video. I'm not going to lie. And I really thought it was going to be the Ravens and Eagles that year, but I'm feeling like it's gonna be this year. They're gonna have the Ravens and Eagles this year. Like I'm kind of feeling like the Eagles gonna return, but the Rams may be a second pick, but the Eagles, they're not really seeing the Eagles returning, but the Eagles may return. Okay, I'm getting into this. All right, let's get into this. Okay, first thing I want to show is the Super Bowl logo. We're gonna go to the Super Bowl logo. Okay, this is how they did it quite different this year, right? All these colors, you see what I'm saying? But let's go into it. Like, you see all the blue, the white, we see the green, like the goldish, we see the purplish, we see the reddish, right? That's what we see, right? So it could be a lot of humans trying to see, a lot of decoders. Like, you got to remember, I'm not the only one that's decoding these games. There's other decoders are decoding these games more in depth than I am. You see what I'm saying? They just, if some I got wrong, they may got it right. If some they may got wrong, I may got it right. It's just what it is. It's all still scripted. But the Super Bowl logo, right? So, you got the Green Bay Packers, and you got blue, people saying the Lions, maybe Cowboys in there. Then you got the red here, you got San Fran, you may have Chiefs, you see what I'm saying? And you got the purplish with the Ravens, you see what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at with the Ravens. You may have the green with the Eagles. See what I'm saying? It's like, it's all mixed in. So what I'm saying, to me, when I say the Ravens, I feel like the Ravens are going to make it because, for one, we're going to go here. This bridge, Francis Scott Key Bridge, right? This bridge collapsed. This is the Baltimore Bridge. This bridge collapsed March 26, 2024, and that's a numerology of 38, right? March is the third month. 2 plus 6 is 8. That's 38. That's death, right? Death, killing, and things like that. Okay, but yeah, this is why I say the Ravens. You see this bridge, right? Francis Scott Key Bridge. For one, you go to the logo. The bridge is mainly the purplish color. You see what I'm saying? This is why the Ravens are going to make it and win the Super Bowl. Right? This is what I'm saying, okay? Because you gotta, like I said, these are riddle. This is a whole riddle that's gonna go on in this year. Like, I feel like this is the riddle. Ravens represent Francis Scott, representing Pope Francis. Pope Francis that died. See, Pope Francis, right? Francis Scott Bridge in San Francisco. You see what I'm talking about? San Francisco, right? San Francisco Stadium. So this was what, oh guys, let me put this in order, because it's like I said, it's a lot that I'm going to show. Not really a lot, but it's a good story to this, right? I'm gonna show you. But yeah, okay, so we got some things to speak about, right? You know what I'm saying? This Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. Okay, I'm gonna show you. Let's read on. I'm not gonna read on all of it, but I'm just gonna look at certain numbers. Like I see this number right here. It said the Francis Key Scott Bridge was a steel arch shaped, continuous truss bridge, I guess. The second largest in the United States, the third largest in the world. Now you see that third largest, right? And then it opened in 1977. I may show you what that 1977 at. But the third largest in the world. Now this is in Baltimore. Remember that. And when you go here with the Ravens Super Bowl appearances, they won 2. And they went to 2 and won 2. So I'm figuring that the Ravens are gonna win 3-3. They're gonna be 3-3 in the Super Bowl. 33. That's what's gonna happen. That's what I see happening. Connecting to this bridge that collapsed. Right? This is the third longest bridge, I feel like, in Baltimore, like in the world. So Baltimore is gonna win their third championship, right? They're gonna connect to this Francis Scott Bridge, connecting to Pope Francis that passed on, in which he was born on a 38, right? December 17. 1 and 2 is 3. 1 and 8 is 8. 1 and 7 is 8. 38. See what I'm saying? He was born on a 38. Death. He's an actor anyway. Like, all these humans are actors. Remember that. They play roles, acting. But yeah, Pope Francis, and the Super Bowl is going to be playing in the San Francisco Stadium, 49ers. You see how that works? That's why the Ravens are going to make it. Right? Connecting to the Super. That's why the logo got more of the Ravens. Because you got to think back. Okay, let me do this. Okay, I'm going to show you, like, because some may not think this is the Ravens color, but it is basically the Ravens color, the purple. If you go to the different shades of purple, right, you'll see a lot of different shades of purple, right? That's the same with the Ravens. And this, I feel like this is the Super Bowl logo color right here, this color, this shade of purple. Magnets. You see what I'm saying? They use magnets on the ball in the goalpost. But yeah, this color purple reddish color. You see what I'm saying? Purple, red. And then look, see, you got like little red and purple. See what I'm talking about? This is the Raven representing this Francis Scott Bridge, Key Bridge. This is what I'm looking at for this narrative or this script, whatever you want to call it. right? So I want to show you. This is why I think they might play the Eagles, right? They may end up playing the Eagles. But first, I'm gonna show you who is this Francis Scott guy. You know, I got to show you who he is because all this connected. Pope Francis, San Francisco, Lamar, right? All this scripted stuff. But this is the Francis Scott guy. You know, another scripted character, right? In these times, these humans. Anyway, so he was born on the 81. August is the 8th month. 81. I'm gonna show you what that 81. But I want to show you something from time between dates, right? I got this. I want to show you this. So he was born 1779. 1779, right? And the connection to this, that's why I'm like, all right, the LA riots. What do you want to call it? The riots or the protests? It's the same thing. These humans fell for that psyop. And you got to think why they fell for it, because this date was on June the 6th. That's a 66, another Masonic number. That's why I'm like this. It was not real what they were doing. A lot of them was actors. But this date, 6-6, you know what I'm saying? Date, right? In Los Angeles, that's why I'm thinking about the Rams making it to the Super Bowl, but I'm not really sure too much on that. Because the Rams do play the Eagles. Rams do play Eagles and the Ravens. They play the Eagles and Ravens this year, one time. So that's why I'm like, something gonna be going with that. But anyway, but let's go here. I'm gonna show you. So the time between dates, so in a minute, I'm gonna show you. See this date, June 6th, and then the date of this guy named Francis Scott. He was born on 1779, right? So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna show you the time between dates. From the LA riots to, actually the LA riots to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl this year is gonna be, right, February the 8th. See what I'm saying? The 2nd month. And from the LA riots, there's going to be a time span of 247 days. You see this number, 247. Now we're going to go here. We're going to go to, where did I go? This guy, this is Francis Scott Key. Weird. Francis Scott Key. They named the bridge after this guy. See, Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. This is in Baltimore, right? So this guy, he was born 1779. So I'm gonna show you. Remember the time between date. 247 days. This is between the LA riots and the Super Bowl, right, in 2026. So when we go to the calculator, 2026 minus 1779, you get 247. See, that's why the Ravens are going to make it to the Super Bowl, right? I spent 247 days from the LA riots, right? The LA riots to the Super Bowl, upcoming Super Bowl. See? And that's from this guy, what's his name again? Oh yeah, Francis Scott Key. His birthday, 1779 to this year of the Super Bowl 2026, 247. See, that's why I see the Ravens making it to the Super Bowl, right? All this is all scripted. You see what I'm saying? This was going on. So what else I have to show? Like it's okay. So we're gonna go. That's why I'm like the Eagles or the Rams will make it out of the NFC. Cause we go here. So the Eagles, they made it 5 Super Bowls, 2 wins, 3 losses. So did the Rams, 5 Super Bowls, 2 wins, winning 2 of them. So 3 losses. They are representing Kobe Bryant. You see what I'm talking about? Like someone gonna get number 24 in the sense of 2-4, 2 wins and 4 losses. They made it 5 Super Bowls. Because I mean, you gotta think. Maybe I'm looking at it like 5. You gotta think 5 Super Bowls. Kobe won 5 rings. Each of them born in Philly, played in LA. And then I see the Ravens because that 33, right? So I'm gonna show you. Some things. Let's get into some numbers. When I see that oh, let me show you something real quick. Let me show you something right here. This Francis Key Scott School. Key Scott, you know what I'm saying? Francis Scott Key School. This is located in Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? Now look, oh gosh. These people, you got to really go into depth with things sometimes. Let me see. What was I looking at? I'm not sure where I found it. I think, but that Francis Key Scott School, I think it's one in California and some other places, but this one is in Philadelphia, right? And out of all the places, Francis Key Scott School is in Philadelphia. That's why I see that the Ravens, it's going to probably be the Eagles and Ravens in the Super Bowl, the Bird Bowl. Don't be surprised if Larry Bird lead this scripted world, right? Larry Bird. Don't be surprised if Larry Bird lead the world stage. Don't be shocked and don't be all in tears. It's a script, folks, okay? Because he wore number 33. Ravens may end up winning, right? Winning their 3-3, being 3-3 in the Super Bowl. Making it 3 appearances and winning 3, right? That's why I see out the Ravens. But yeah, I'm gonna go here. Just show you some numbers. If I put in PHI, right, that's the abbreviation for Philadelphia, right? You see that 24. That's why I'm like either. Like it's a script to it. Like it could be either way. Like the Eagles be 2-4 in the Super Bowl. See, and then you see that, right? That 33, right? The looking at the Ravens to be 3-3 in the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? But you go to, and then you see that 12. That'll be Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl record. He'll win 1 and win 3 Super Bowls and lost 2. Won 1, lost 2. See? Now look at I was saying about the Rams. If the Rams make it versus the Ravens, and you see that 24, you see what I'm saying? The Rams can also be, right, 2-4 in the Super Bowl. They go to the Super Bowl, they won 2 and lost 3, and they'll lose a 3rd one. Represent Kobe Bryant. You see what I'm talking about? That's what I'm saying with numbers. It's all connection. And that 30, Ravens 3-0. Ravens could be undefeated in the Super Bowl. See what I'm saying? 3-0. Also, was shown you by Keith Scott, 81. Now watch what I'll show you with that 81 with what it was, the Baltimore Ravens. See, 81. Francis Key Scott, right? Born on August 1st, right? Baltimore. That's where his bridge is at. 81. See, Kobe Bryant. You put Kobe Bryant name right here. Kobe Bean Bryant's full name. You'll see 81. You see what I'm saying? And then when I say that 81, if you really think about it, Jalen Hurts. Right, Jalen Hurts wears number 1, Lamar wears number 8. See, that's why I'm like, them two may be playing in the Super Bowl. Right, you got Jalen Hurts. They won't even show his number. But Jalen Hurts wears number 1, right? And then you got Lamar, right? You have Lamar number 8. See, 81. That's what I feel like is going to happen, right? Representing Kobe Bean Bryant, Super Bowl 60, 81. See, that's what I'm looking at. And them two, they're going to, like, if you think about it, Negroes lead. They're going to be in the Negroes, like, 60, Super Bowl 60. You're going to see two Negro quarterbacks or blacks, whatever you want to call them, whatever those characters you want to call them, in the Super Bowl, right? But what else I'm gonna show? Riots. See, LA riots, like the riots, 81. They was in LA. Kobe Bryant, 81. See, it's all in number game. What else? I was showing little simple things, not much. But you see riots though. You see that 27. That's the same as Matt, like Matt Stafford. Matt, like he played for the Rams, LA. See, it's all the game. When you put in BAL, right, that's abbreviation for Baltimore, and you see that 6, right? If you go here to the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and they would tell you it was 6 deaths. See, it was 6 deaths in Baltimore. You get what I'm saying? This is all the game. 6 deaths, Baltimore Key Bridge, Scott Key, right? Baltimore, see, 6. It's all a number game, people. You see what I'm saying? These people know what they doing. No, they been knew what they was doing, you know what I'm saying, with all these number connections, right? Okay, so when I put in Lamar Jackson and on Jalen Hurts, see that 1977, right? That's why, like I said, I could be putting in a combination of things. And you go here, that's when it opened. The Francis Scott Key Bridge opened in 1977. See, that's why I feel like, I said the Ravens and the Eagles. Ravens and Eagles, a Bird Bowl, right? I'm gonna show more. I'm coming to part 2, right, of the Super Bowl during mid-season or something, and see how it goes. Part 2 of the Super Bowl. That I see the Ravens, right? Ravens winning Super Bowl 60 versus either the Eagles or the Rams, right? And I'm really leaning towards the Eagles. But we'll see during mid-season of the year and things how it goes.